The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina sometimes deals with disturbing and problematic topics. We provide a list of content warnings in the episode description. Hello and welcome to Dead Ends. I'm Emily.
I'm Brenton.
And we have a new episode. A perverse episode. A perverted episode? That sounds bad. Of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah.
It sounds
you
like it's
going
gonna
down
get,
the rabbit hole.
But if that's what the word, English.
Totally. No. It is exactly what it means. It just sounds worse in our modern day colloquialism.
Yeah,
Colloquy. Never mind.
the connotation of perverted is not the textbook definition.
Exactly. Because what it does mean is
What does it mean, Brenton?
my brain just went completely blank.
Oxford English Dictionary defines perverted at
Oh God, it's like Jesus. No, I lost it.
deviating from what is considered right and correct,
Okay, perfect.
or marked by misinterpretation or distortion, like a perverted translation of.
Oh, yeah, works too. Oh God, yeah, I was.
Or of course, practicing sexual perversion.
Right. That was
Or
me
relating to it. It doesn't have to just be practicing.
That was me throwing up the basketball against the hoop and completely missing the dunk. The ball just sailed right over my head.
Corrupt would have been like a nice one-word way to phrase it.
Yeah, because all in my head was just different. And I'm like, that's not
wrong.
it's not even close.
That's so funny.
Like it is in a sense, but no.
It's like when you ask like a person, they're like, "Oh, I know all about this," and then you ask them one question, and the whole fucking thing falls like a house of
well,
cards.
you see, there's a lot of ins and outs.
We found this man at the bottom of a well, actually.
Exactly. I feel like this is another one of those episodes where I really enjoyed watching it, and I think our conversation is going to be negative.
Okay, so this was the most fun I've had watching the show in a while. I love this, just like the last one. It ends so great, except for the very last line.
It's so cheesy. So I mean, it depends on how much mileage you're willing to get out of the end there.
The cheese tolerance on an Emily is like not quite gooey plastic nacho cheese. I can't quite commit to that, and that's where this goes.
Mm-hmm.
He could have just said, "I love you." Could have just said
he could have just been normal,
but they had to be like, "We're in game." Which
I have a real hard time when
they break the fourth wall in this way, because it's not even good.
No, they're just using lingo from the outside.
And they did this in Pretty Little Liars, and they do this in Riverdale.
Oh, all the time in Riverdale.
Okay, but Kevin used to do it for fun in Riverdale, and it worked for the character.
Yeah, because
Kevin is that character.
He was like nosy and involved.
And like starting rumors and gossiping, like all of those things.
And then he became other things, and then they still had him do that sometimes.
Kevin's character arc is crazy.
Oh, it's all over the goddamn place.
Maybe when we finish Riverdale, we'll have to sit down and be like, who had the weirdest character arc?
That's a great way to recap
on the series.
When we finish everything,
who actually started the most normal, who ended the most normal.
Yeah. And we can just try and off the top of our heads, we'll make a selection of characters, and we'll try and track over the series what their character arcs were from beginning to end, and we can see if we can map, and then if not, we can start pulling in things into the episode. But we'll try off the top of our head extemporaneously if we can track it all.
That's so funny. Yeah. Okay. Who do you think started the most normal in
that? Probably Archie.
Archie
and Betty.
Betty, yeah.
Because there are like, they're
boy and girl next door.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or from her small town, because even Veronica's coming in with her dad is in jail and from New York.
Lives at the drive-in.
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess it depends on your like definition of normal.
I just meant like normal high school experience, not, you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
I don't know many people with Glamour-J eggs and.
Wait till we get back. Just wait till we get back. Well, on that note, should we jump into our cast member for this week?
Yeah, let's talk about the Trinket Man.
All right. The Trinket Man. So I popped off for this because this is the Trinket Man's played by James Urbaniak. Does anybody know out there who he plays? Dr. Thaddeus Rusty Venture on The Venture Brothers, which is a longtime favorite of mine. I think like as I've gotten older, like some of the stuff like obviously doesn't hold up. You just kind of look at that stuff. But I've seen probably the first 5 seasons more than, I don't know. It's up there in top
We watched
shows.
it a lot.
Yes. It was like my comfort show of like, I'm just going to put this on. Like, ooh, I actually really want to watch like season 3 again. So I'm going to watch season 3 again.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched it in order.
Yeah, probably not. Because I'd be like, ooh, I really feel like watching the one where we get the prequel story on everybody and Billy's at the center of it all. But for those who don't watch it, I'll just give a brief summary. It's a cartoon show that started on Adult Swim. There was a joke on Johnny Quest, which is the Venture Brothers. But then it's just spiraling out and making fun of lots of different like nerd culture things like superheroes and stuff. It starts out pretty. The first season's kind of like it's Adult Swim from 2003, so it's like kind of all over the place and kind of like mean humor. It stays pretty mean throughout the entire show, but it gets less so. But they start having more of like an arc, and consistent story as like probably like toward the end of season 2. You know, it's good, but be wary that it is Adult Swim humor.
From 2003.
Yeah, exactly. And because it took so long to produce, his credits were for 20 years. It was 2003 to 2023. And then they put out the movie, I think, last year. I've not watched the movie. I need to. Movie? Yeah, because to cap off because they left open end at the end of season 7, season 7, I think. So they came back and just finished it out with the movie.
Oh.
And then he was.
I got you a Venture Brothers coffee table book at some point, and I use it to hold my monitor up because it's big enough to get my monitor at the right height at my desk.
Yeah, because it's the art of Venture Brothers.
It's very cool. It's a cool book, but currently it's Rob. But if anyone ever sees it on my desk, just know I've only seen know 2 seasons worth of episodes, so I don't know anything. You have to ask Brenton.
I know a thing or two about a thing or two.
You know a thing or two.
He was also Grant. Oh man, I don't know how to. He was Grant on Review. I don't know how to say the last name. Review, a tremendous show that I feel like doesn't get its due nowadays. Of also just being so weird and mean.
I didn't like that.
Yeah. It's Andy Daly plays a person where he's reviewing life, and it's him just he's so committed to the bit. And so it's just him digging further and further holes. Like in the first episode, it's like he has to review drugs, and he gives everything on a scale from 1 to 5 stars. The real shift in the series is pancakes, divorce, pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's, yeah.
I think that's when I stopped watching.
I can see why. So it's really funny, but another dark one.
So you're learning a lot about Brenton's psyche today.
What I find funny. He was also Arthur Tech on Difficult People, which I feel like we watched a few episodes of. It was a Hulu show with Julie Klausner and Billy Eichner as like the 2 leads. I find Julie Klausner to be very funny.
I have a hard time with Billy Eichner.
Yeah, I
like Billy Eichner as a person. Like, I think he's totally fine. I mean,
But like
I don't
Billy
know
on the street.
Yeah, I cannot stand that. I think there's nothing ruder than running up to someone and yelling in my face. Like, I think that's the rudest thing you could do. And as a petite woman, I don't want you to ever run towards me.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Unless there's a fire behind you, why are you running towards me?
I think he is no longer doing Billy on the Street.
No, and you know what? Okay, so I'm going to go on a little rant here. I think Billy on the Street is what enabled a bunch of the young people that are now on TikTok and making these channels where they go and like interview people on the street and annoy random people or like do it in Targets and stuff. I think he emboldened these people by this show. I think they found influence from that and they said, well, I could do this. And there's other people that do. You know what I mean? It's been a thing.
not just him, but he.
But I
is
think
part
because
of the
oeuvre. he became such a big name for it that it became a way like it legitimized it.
Yeah, I think you could also chart prank shows from like Jackass and what's the other one? Eric Andre show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like those either. Mm-hmm. I've always been against those. Brenton used to watch the Eric Andre show, and I was like, I cannot stand this.
I went and saw him live. in college.
I cannot stand it. It just bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, what? Like, there's no point to it. Like, it doesn't feel good. It's not fun. It's just making a mess and at someone else's expense. And it's just mean.
Yeah, of just shocking people.
Yeah. And
Unsuspecting people.
I'm like, why? Do something else with your time.
There are some funny sketches.
I believe you.
But
It's
I
not-
get it.
It's
No,
just
I
like when
get you.
people aren't consenting to something and you're making them the joke, I don't think that's funny. I think it's just cruel.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're just being a bully, and you're being a bully because you were probably bullied because you're not very cool. And that
that's how passionately she feels about this.
and I felt that way like in college. Like I was obviously not making myself popular with the people that were into this, but he married me anyway.
It's fine.
I just don't like it.
I completely see what you're talking about. And then was also Special Agent Owen Quinn on Criminal Minds. There you go.
Okay, well, we're into that, I guess.
Yeah.
I used to watch Criminal Minds like way back in the day. Like
That's
my
what I was-
mom used to watch it.
I never had watched it, so I was like, I'm going to throw this in here and see if this rings any bells to you.
Because I feel like, when did it start? Were we in high school?
Or
Before? Criminal Minds was on.
no, it might have been high school.
Criminal Minds was on forever. Is it still on? How long is Criminal Minds?
Let's find out. Premiered in 2005
Okay, so before.
to present. Oh, wait, no. Also known as Criminal Minds Evolution, 2022 to present.
Okay, well,
364 episodes and 19 seasons.
is Special Agent Odin like a
Okay,
major-
original ran from 2005 to 2020.
Oh,
And then now they have this new one.
that's still a chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like my mom used to watch Criminal Minds. My mom used to love a police like procedural or like she likes any sort of like crime, murder.
She still kind of does, but it's not like the Criminal Minds.
No, she used to like the darker ones, kind of. But she didn't like some of it. Like if the episode was really scary or sad. I can't remember if it was a Criminal Minds or a Law and Order, one of those where a girl got hit by a motorcycle or something and died in the street.
Ooh.
And like you watch her die and she's like talking to someone, but like her spine's obviously broken. And like that one fucked me up. And I said, I'm not watching this with you anymore.
Yeah, that's rough.
And I think that's kind of when she toned him down because she also was like, yeah, I don't like this.
Yeah. But she likes at least the lighter ones.
Yeah.
She watches Elsbeth and High Potential
Watches
now.
High Potential now.
And then had watched Bones
she loved
when
Bones.
that was on.
Except there's certain Bones episodes she won't rewatch.
Yeah.
But she loves Bones. But she won't rewatch certain ones. And if you would like her takes, let me know and I can get the names of the episodes for you.
Oh, yeah.
My God. If we could get my mom to do a podcast on Bones, it would be so funny.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get her to do it, could we?
You get a recording in there, maybe.
Maybe.
We'll think about it. We'll see.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
If you want that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Yeah,
want it for
sound
my
off.
own personal collection. Actually,
So we might
it's for me.
It's
I
happening.
don't need to post it. It's fine.
Unless we get a bunch of comments of people being like, we do not want to hear this.
We hate Bones. Bones did horrible things to my family. I hate the Deschanels.
Yeah. The Deschanels.
Is Angel from Buffy? He's the guy on Bones, right?
Yep. What's his name?
What is his name?
Angel. David Boreanaz.
Hmm.
I had David in my head, but I'm like, I don't remember his last name.
Well, it's a small world.
Let's do it. Yeah, should we get into their episode?
Yeah.
All right. So Chapter 32, The Imp of the Perverse. So I put some stuff up top here on background. So Omphalos, which is the stone that they talk about and reference, from Greek myth, Rhea secretly gave birth. So before there were the gods, there were the Titans,
Mm-hmm.
and that was Kronos as the head of all that, and he would eat his babies.
Mm-hmm.
And so Rhea secretly gave birth to Zeus in Crete, and then Cronus was going to go eat Zeus, but she handed a stone to him instead, wrapped in swaddling clothes, which was known as the Omphalos stone, which he promptly swallowed, thinking that it was his son. And then so there's like that piece, but then also as like the center of the universe, the reality that they're talking about here is later after Zeus has slain him, he was looking for the location for the center of the Earth and launched 2 eagles from 2 ends of the world. And then the eagles started simultaneously flying at equal speed and crossed paths above the area of Delphi. So that's why, or Delphi. And then that's where he placed the stone. So that was the center of the world. Yeah, is it Delphi?
That's what I always say, but is that wrong?
I'm going to go with Delphi.
Someone can tell us if we're wrong.
Yeah.
We're happy to be wrong. I mean, we're happy to be wrong. We're happy to be corrected. We love being wrong.
Ooh.
We're real American like that.
That's right. This podcast is just to make everybody pissed.
We're just rage baiting, but it's like on accident.
Exactly. So that's what since it was the center of the Earth, that's where they're getting like center of reality here. And then so later, Sabrina's talking about looking for hexen, which is the book that was the secret code word to get into the back for the resistance at Dr. C's. That's based on a 1922 silent horror film that's Swedish and Danish.
Okay.
And it's supposedly charting the historical roots and superstitions surrounding witchcraft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
Mm-hmm. And so supposedly it was based on Malleus Maleficarum, a 15th century German guide for inquisitors. And Haxton proposes that such witch hunts around that may have stemmed from misunderstandings of mental or neurological disorders. Isn't that interesting? So even back in 1922, we were kind of looking at that. It was Christensen's study of the Malleus Maleficarum, because the Malleus Maleficarum was for inquisitors. That was a guide. So then Christensen was looking back at that and being like, hey, were these witch hunts actually stemming from mental or neurological disorders? Just to clarify that. Yeah. All right. So on to the recap. Sabrina and Roz are running for co-class president at Baxter High. Sabrina practices her speech to the family. It's on celebrating diversity and being the voice of students. And Zelda's like, it lacks your authenticity. And then Sabrina says it's hard when I'm still figuring my stuff out. Zelda wants her to drop out of the race because she has more important things to worry about, like the end of the world and Eldritch terrors, and Ambrose agrees. And in this, Zelda is petting her taxidermied beagle. Roz tells Harvey that she's a witch, and he's taking the news extremely badly and throwing around some strong words like, what you are. Ooh. He apologizes and says he's trying to understand, and through tears, Roz says we'll be okay, and then they hook up. Sabrina passes out flyers at school, and we see Carl and Billy are running against them. It's boys versus girls. I thought they were breaking barriers at first by running it as co-president, but it seems like that's just the ticket.
Yeah.
Harvey vents to Theo on finding out Roz is a witch. The friends are all together, and Harvey decides now is the perfect time to pick a fight with Roz. Greendale experiences a brief earthquake as Prudence seems to see something. A collector of rare trinkets, the Trinket Man, visits Blackwood and hawks his wares. Blackwood finds an imp statue, and he thinks it's the imp of the perverse, and it'll bestow any wish on the owner. The Trinket Man says it's not for sale. Prudence then sees Blackwood in her vision and calls the other sentinels for help focusing her sight. They see Blackwood steal the imp and throw the Trinket Man out of his church. Roz asks where Blackwood is, and Prudence doesn't say, but she grabs her swords because she doesn't want them to stop her from killing him. Blackwood asks to become emperor of the world, and that he has always been emperor. And as Prudence goes to stab him, he disappears. And then everybody experiences a loud ringing, and then cut to Prudence with a bob, dressed in red and black regalia, like military uniform, in front of posters for Emperor Blackwood. Prudence goes back to Dorian's, which is now run by Blackwood. She asks Judith and Judas to get Agatha ready because she's over in the corner muttering to herself like she always does. Sabrina and Roz, and it's also Blackwood's birthday. Sabrina and Roz step out to see the bathroom to see people in the halls wearing uniforms. They find a poster of Sabrina as she's public enemy number 1. Billy walks by and notices Sabrina, but she throws on a glamour to make it seem like she is a brunette and wears glasses. Harvey comes up and kisses Roz because they're still dating, and he wonders who the hell Sabrina is, and Sabrina's like, my name is Samantha. Wardwell opens the class.
Sabrina going to class is crazy town.
Why would you do this?
Yeah.
Also, why would you not glamour yourself with a uniform? Everybody else is wearing a military uniform except our heroes, and it doesn't seem to make them stand out.
There's a couple other girls that aren't wearing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think there's like 1 or 2 other girls that aren't wearing it. All the boys are wearing them.
Except for Robin and Theo. And then it's like, why?
And then I think there's a couple other students that aren't.
Oh, okay.
But it's all girls for the most part. I think most of the boys are bought in, which seems very representative.
Yeah, I'm like, if they have to wear the military uniforms, why is like Robin
I
and
don't
Theo
think they
not?
have to wear them. I think it's like those are the people who signed up to be a part of Blackwood's youth.
It
So
seemed
those
like
are.
it was like a military academy, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I think the school's named after him, but I don't think like you have to like uniform.
Interesting. Okay.
I didn't take it that way. I took it more as like he just renamed the school to be named after him because he's so important.
Got it.
He's emperor, so like they're all his. He can be. They don't have to join the military for him to still feel like he has power over them.
Yeah, it just seemed like they stood out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also a visual thing to make it easier for us, the audience, to figure
And
out what's
be
going
like,
on.
There's the good guys. Wardwell opens
I
the
mean, let's think about the language they use. The resistance that's feeling a little Star Warsy, got the Imperial
right. Yeah,
in their matching outfits, and then we stand out in our ragtag browns and reds.
Mm-hmm. It was just like, Anna. Yeah. Wardwell opens the class with a pledge of allegiance to Blackwood. Wardwell teaches about Salem and Greendale witch trials, which is an important day in U.S. history.
I'm sorry, real quick. So she's like, Mr. Kinkle, do you want to lead the pledge? And then only Harvey says it.
Yeah, everybody else just stands up. They're really being like, Harvey is just the worst.
Well, and also I think it's more of like, oh, we didn't want to have to teach this entire set of people and extras to say this pledge, so we're just going to have Harvey do it.
Yeah. She teaches a bunch of scary theories about witches, like that they eat babies, and the witches are trying to ascend. They're trying to overthrow us. They're working in the back rooms. Blackwood is also coming to school to see them on his birthday, which is the one day he traditionally visits Greendale. And she's like, oh, do you hear that on the rooftop and the bells?
Dana.
Exactly. And then Blackwood enters and says there's a witch amongst you and accuses Robin of being a witch because he has green hair and pointy ears. He denies it, but they go to arrest him anyway. And Theo's like, run. And Robin runs away. And Blackwood's like, never mind. Actually, Theo was the witch. And they pull him away. Blackwood says that witches have true selves, and the cadets bring in a creature that's captured that howls at the students.
You know what I really love? They never misgender Theo.
No.
Like even Blackwood in all his cruelty, they never misgender Theo.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, I love that. Like even Blackwood's like, well, yeah, he's a boy.
Yeah, that's Mr. Putnam.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the witch theories. They ride their brooms and drop spell bombs. Eat babies, and they have true selves underneath their hidden mortal selves. Roz and Sabrina privately theorize in the bathroom and wonder why they aren't infected. And Sabrina's like, maybe because we had contact with the previous Eldritch Terrors, and they may have been immunized. They go to the Spellman household and find it in disrepair and graffitied and marked for being witches. Ambrose is bringing boxes out to a car and says, get away from me, woman. Sabrina says, it's me. But he's like, I've never had a cousin and I've been marked as a witch, so I need to get the hell out of Dodge. Sabrina tries to reason with him and Ambrose says, no, I'm leaving. He's like, I don't know what's happening outside the town borders. It's like essentially explaining why people don't just leave, because it's like supposedly there's like dragons, or they don't know that there's scary creatures outside of the borders that could kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, but I'm going to go find out for myself, and drives off. And Sabrina wants to go to the academy, and Rod's like, I'm going to try and bring Harvey back. And it's like, okay, let's split up. Sabrina finds the academy marked for witches as well, and inside she finds a bronze statue of Emperor Blackwood. She runs into Nick, who doesn't recognize her. It's an art school now known as Madame Spellman's, and he's charmed by her seemingly. He's like, you should really come to the school. I'll love you in every life.
I love this.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing cuter to me than when you're like, in every single scenario in Lifetime, this boy is smitten.
Oh, yeah.
He can't fight it.
Mm-mm.
It's so deeply ingrained in him.
Oh, yeah.
I love Sabrina. And I'm like, that's right.
That is right.
That's right.
Sabrina visits Zelda in her office, and she tries to plead with Zelda to remember her, and Sabrina drops her disguise, and Zelda's like, oh, you're public enemy number one. And Blackwood can't find you here, and Sabrina tries to reason with her again, but Zelda slaps her and tells her to get out of her school. Sabrina tries to cast a memory spell, which I thought it worked, but it doesn't.
It does for like a second, I think.
Yeah, because she goes, Sabrina, but then maybe that's it, and then it just like washes away.
I think it's once they get interrupted. I thought then when
Marie.
comes in, it's like, oh.
Well,
or is it like once she goes back out to black, like it fades? I don't really know.
Yeah, it's all a little fuzzy how this is all working. Marie comes running in to say the Emperor is there, and Zelda snaps into action and tells Sabrina to stay there and don't make a sound. Blackwood asks if Zelda has art or literature that is in violation of decency laws, and she's like, no. And he's like, what about babies? And she's like, weird question, but no. But actually, we've been practicing a song for you. And the choir kicks in of he's a jolly good fellow. Whatever, they sing some song about Blackwood, but Nick doesn't sing. And Blackwood's like, you boy. And Nick's like, well, I forgot the words. And Blackwood's like, you have to sing for me alone. And then Prudence goes to arrest him, but he suddenly starts singing. And we see Sabrina is casting a spell to make him sing. Blackwood approves and asks for people to search the place.
So does Blackwood know the old reality?
Yes.
And he's intentionally picking on Nick.
I think so. Okay. Because it's like, oh, you're still defiant. Because then later when Blackwood's like, you're here, you're gonna ruin my plans. Roz tries to reason with, this is in reference to Sabrina. Roz tries to reason with Harvey, who's full-on Nazi now, and she tells him she's a witch and asks if he'll arrest her, and he's like, of course not, but you can't say things like that. And Roz tries to tell him that he's dated 2 witches, and he covers her mouth and tells her to never say those words again and tells her to leave. Before she leaves, she tells him that he was a good man and protected his friends and tells him she loved her for who she was.
A very important note in this scene. Next to Roz on Harvey's dresser by the door, there's a tin man made of cans. I'm like, oh.
He has no heart.
He has no heart. They've taken his heart. Made him weak. Did not have a heart. It just, I always love, like, there's a lot of Wizard of Oz imagery throughout this show, just like sprinkled in.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. All over the place. Prudence found,
Which also makes sense because it's another good reference to another society that's been like a dictator or, like the wizard is
true. Right.
Is I don't know what type of, he's the wizard, but like what type of ruler he is by definition.
And he's like, there are the good witches and the bad witches.
Exactly.
And in Wicked, it's the misnomers around Elphaba.
And the animals.
Oh, and the animals. You're right.
Something's very bad. Hanging Oz.
Well, and also this is our second show where Oz is playing a big role.
Oh, of that
we watched.
Second show.
The Perfectionist.
I was like, I mean, I know it's been a couple episodes.
Prudence found maps and books, and Blackwood tells them to burn them and also orders Nick's arrest. Nick stands defiant, and Blackwood vows to break him. They take him away, and Sabrina comes in vowing to protect Nick and tells them all they're powerful witches, and Zelda tells her to leave. Sabrina tells Zelda about her dog, her familiar, that she loves so much, and after he died, she had him stuffed, and Zelda cries and hands her a note and says, go to the bookstore on Main Street and request that book. The people there may be able to help you, and Sabrina sends Roz a message to meet at Dr. C's. Ambrose is worried about leaving the town and gets the courage to drive outside the city limits. As he does, the spell of the perverse breaks. He finds the trinket man sitting in the grass, and he says, a madman stole one of my trinkets. Ambrose asks why the spell doesn't go past Greendale, and the trinket man says, well, the imp has his impish ways. He offers the sacred stone of Omphalos, and Ambrose tells us exactly what this is, and that it could restore reality, and asks for how much, and the trinket man's like, you know what? It's free for you. But when you go back across the border, your mind is going to perverse again, so you maybe have 30 seconds before your mind changes. And Ambrose says, maybe I can teleport in, and Robin comes running out, and he's like, I can help. Sabrina goes to Dr. C's and finds Roz. Hilda comes over and asks if she can help them. Sabrina asks for Haxon and that Zelda Spellman recommended it. Hilda is shocked by this and is like, follow me to the back. And they go, and she says, welcome to the Resistance. We see Lilith is there with her baby. Carl is randomly there. Hello, Carl.
He's a good person.
Exactly. I wrote down who are good people that we can go over.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. I want to discuss that as well.
Yeah. And then Agatha, who recognizes Sabrina, and she's like, in this perverse world, my mind is clear. And Blackwood doesn't know that my mind is working again. Blackwood is obsessed with stopping Sabrina, and they have to destroy the imp. Robin runs in with Ambrose, who tells her about the stone, but runs out of time before he can tell them how to use it because he spends too much time on the history lesson. Hilda says You had a really funny. You were like, "Oh, are they just gonna run him in and out, like back again multiple times?"
Yeah, I
I'm like,
thought it'd be really funny, but I guess does Robin also not know what they're doing once they go back in?
Oh, right, because he doesn't do the run for the lock until
They've already drank the stone soup.
yeah. So probably not then. But Hilda says if it's obvious, we should eat it, and proposes to make a stone soup. Ambrose tries the first cup, and it works. Agatha tells everyone that Blackwood leaves the imp under lock and key unless he's out and about, in which he brings it with him. They'll be able to get it, when he's performing the executions tomorrow on his birthday. Oh, and you noticed here that Hilda doesn't have her colorful makeup.
Yeah, Hilda doesn't have her colorful makeup. She's very subdued. Very boring world we live in.
Sabrina goes to the academy armed with soup to feed to all the witches. Harvey and Billy visit Dr. C's. They got a call that subversive meetings were taking place there. They split up to search the place, and while they do, Billy destroys the front. Harvey finds a secret door to the back, and Roz reasons with Harvey, and he says Blackwood will be suspicious if we come back empty-handed, and he comes out with Roz to arrest her, and they leave with Billy. Agatha is called in to talk to Blackwood, and she's like, I was just at the church, la-di-da-di-da. And then Prudence is like, liar, I was at the church. And Blackwood's like, how long have you been conspiring against me? And Prudence has had people following Agatha.
For weeks, but it's only been like 12 hours since this perversion took place. So I'm like, how could she have been doing things in the past, in a past that doesn't exist?
It's like it's like their minds are all wiped over. So apparently even in that, it was like, okay, if Agatha was clear all along, she would still know the past life and still try and rebel against them.
Yeah.
Further back, I guess. Zelda rallies the witches against Blackwood. At the desecrated church, Blackwood holds ceremony before the executions. He has his followers put large stones on top of Nick until he confesses, let's see those abs. Sabrina stands up and drops her glamour and announces she's a witch. Ambrose sneaks around while Blackwood is distracted and shoots a spell to blow up the imp, but it does nothing. And Sabrina throws a stone, and then Emperor Blackwood's like, ha ha ha, that's not the real one. Sabrina throws the stone at Emperor Blackwood. She's like, what do we do?
Knock him in the noggin.
And calls him a witch. The other witches hold him in place with magic, and Harvey fights back as well. Everyone pleads with Prudence, and the other sentinels break the imp's hold on her, and she's like, they have to wish on the imp, not destroy it, and it's in a safe behind his portrait. And Robin's like, I can go get it, and then runs over there, and Sabrina gets the stones off of Nick, and they flirt. Nick's like, well, I could have handled so much more stones.
Yeah, well, because earlier when Blackwood's like, oh, what did you say? When he's putting the stones on Nick goes, more weight, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, he's like, ugh.
I'm a rebel to the end.
Yep. And then Robin comes back with the imp, and Robin had tried 1.5 million combinations because moving fast. So his
fingers are bleeding.
Yeah, it's good. And Sabrina wishes on it, but it's also a fake. And then they figure out that the dog that's been with Blackwood this entire episode, Anubis, is the imp.
The sweetest looking Rottweiler you've ever seen.
It's very sweet.
You know how you can make those dogs look scary? This one does not look the least bit scary.
No,
this one looks so friendly.
So cute. Sabrina wishes on Anubis to bring everything all back before the perversion, and then cut to Prudence running at Blackwood with a sword, and Blackwood seems to say something to the imp, but Prudence stabs him. Roz and Sabrina find everything back to normal as they leave the bathroom. Harvey asks to talk to Roz alone and apologizes for being an asshole, and he loves her, and he's there for all of her. And Roz is like, why the change of heart? And he's like, well, let's just say I want to be on the right side of history. And then they walk off and music plays and cut to credits. Sabrina hands Billy and Carl a flyer that says Witches United on it. And Billy's like, hey, what does that mean? And then Sabrina says, we're powerful women standing up for the oppressed. And then she starts winding up into a town hall speech and ascends the stairs, and the students gather around, and Billy's like, damn it, by asking a question, I played right into her hands. And she says, we stand up for the oppressed. And everybody's like, hurrah, hurrah. And then Prudence cut off Blackwood's head because he can't be killed because of the mark of Cain
that Lilith gave him.
Yep. And he's placed in the bottom of the academy. Agatha is back to being insane. Nick tells Sabrina he still has feelings for her, and she's like, well, what about Prudence? And he's like, well, we had fun, but it's not what we had. And Nick tells Sabrina their endgame. The end.
Yeah, okay. Nick could have said anything. I love you in every reality. There's no reality in which I'm not with you, Spellman. There's lots of ways where you're playing with the theme of the episode.
Totally.
Endgame? What is this, the fucking Avengers? Get me out of here.
Yes, it is. Yeah, yeah.
But I do like that. It makes my little heart happy. It makes my heart go a pitter patter. Okay, so let's talk about who remembers and what's going on here conceptually in this episode. Sabrina and Roz know what's going on, obviously. Zelda maybe remembers for a minute.
Yeah, I think I think you're spot on of that.
Like,
the memory spell works for a minute, but then it drops off.
Yeah. And then obviously once they've had the soup, everyone remembers. But everyone that drinks the soup remembers. So then when things go back to the way they were before, do they all still remember?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
So it's like Harvey doesn't and Nick doesn't.
Correct.
But they come back with like sense memories almost.
Yeah.
It's like it's not at like the front of their head.
But it's like, yeah, that like back of the mind, like very, yeah.
Mm-hmm. May your heart be your guiding key.
Exactly.
You know.
So
Sora doesn't remember Castle Oblivion, but like he has some like sense memories about it.
Totally, yeah.
And then Agatha remembers.
But Agatha can't talk to us.
She has madness for some reason.
And we gotta just fix that.
I think it's so dumb.
Couldn't that have been part of the wish?
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, that's curious. What happens to the imp after? Here you go, Trinket Man. Be on your way.
I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do with the imp. So Robin, we presume, was affected until he got out of the city. But was a hobgoblin. So that's why Robin and Theo were not part of the Blackwood youth. Because he's like, well, I am what I am.
Yeah, it just seems like there's certain people that it's like, these people are good in every reality.
Yes, which includes Theo, Robin, Billy. No, sorry, not Billy. Carl. Billy's not good.
Carl, just for some reason, I'm like, there's someone with a soft spot for Carl that is just like, he's just an ally.
So funny to me.
Uh-huh.
Because it's like, well, if Sabrina was mortal, that would have been a good option for her. I think that's like a fun way to play with it. You know what I mean? Like if Sabrina had been immortal, just like straight up mortal, and Harvey wasn't the one, maybe Carl was.
Yeah, well, you know, it seems like they...
Like morally.
Right, exactly.
Like they align. It's also fun.
He's hashtag ally. Because he doesn't have any interactions with witches at all or anything.
No.
In our real... not in our real timeline. In the show's regular timeline. But he's just a good guy.
Correct. It's interesting because it makes sense because Billy was so bad at the beginning of the show that Billy is like, yeah, of course he'd fall for this.
Mm-hmm.
And Carl obviously does not, question mark.
Nope.
I want to talk about Harvey, but before I do, I want to talk about Lilith. So does Lilith know who she is, or is Lilith just like a lady with a baby being hidden by Hilda?
I don't know. It's because what they do is they have her switch
basically
roles.
Wardwell is like the powerful version, and she's like the scared meek one that's like hidden.
Yeah.
But she doesn't talk.
No, she just goes and has a baby. So yeah, I guess she doesn't remember anything. But it's like she's Lilith.
Yeah, and I mean, sure, the Eldritch Chairs are more powerful than the hell creatures and people, but it's fucking Lilith.
I know. I'm like, that's rude.
Mm-hmm.
I get what they're doing, but I don't sanction it.
And so does Agatha kind of like as part of that resistance group, is she's like telling them like, hey, you're actually all witches, or like what's, you know what I mean? Like what's been the vibe?
I don't know. Because it seems my reading on that is that they know they're witches. So in this reality, that the witches that we know they're witches, but like have had to live through life
pretending to not be.
Exactly, because or else they would be,
correct. It's like we're going back to before the witch trials.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which makes sense with the lesson they're teaching in the school.
They're playing with I said Nazis multiple times. They're playing with Nazis. Yeah. Or else you would get taken away to unknown camps or whatever and stuff like that. But,
well, and also using like the witch trial things, like the stoning and the executions, the public executions.
Yes. So it seems like Hilda has, and Dr. C, it's like they're actively working against Blackwood, where Zelda is like, we're going to hide you in plain sight and learn to go along to get along, in a sense. I will try and protect you as best as I can. and they're kind of connected, but like not
in the same
really.
way. Yeah,
It's like they have like differences of opinion.
correct.
It's like Magneto and Professor X.
All right. Thank you. Very
Zelda
helpful.
started her academy,
Yeah.
and Hilda is leading the resistance.
Love that. Let's talk about Harvey.
Yes,
Mr. Kinkle.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I think is kind of interesting about this episode, the Harvey we've known from the beginning of the show has always known Sabrina in our interpretation of him. And he is very, supportive and wants to be on the right side of things and wants to be a good person and has a good heart and wants to help people. But that's also been the major influences in his life, as far as we can see, were his older brother, who's dead, and his dad, who he doesn't want to be like, even though he's like kind of better now, question mark, is Sabrina.
Papa Kinkle has come out the other side, it seems like.
Sabrina, Roz, Theo, basically. Those are like the only people we ever really see interacting with Harvey. So in this reality where Sabrina wasn't ever his friend or girlfriend, question mark, he is so much more susceptible to the propaganda. So it's the idea that this one girl had such influence on him at a very pivotal age that it completely changed. Like he chose a better path. And I think, and he still chooses the right path at the end. He rescues Roz. Like he still loves Roz, and like, he recognizes that what he's doing is bad. But the idea that he's so like weak-willed and like willing to like, he's like, well, if I go along with this, then, like I'm protecting you in a way. You know what I mean? Like, don't say that. Like he's following along to protect her, almost like Zelda, but not quite, because Zelda's still obviously doing shit. It's just very, I think it's like I kind of like it. I think it's a good commentary on the fact that so many young men and boys are so susceptible to a world that tells them that they're better than everyone, and that they follow some man, then they're in power, and then they're more important, and everyone should listen to them and follow them, and don't you dare step out of line. And I think that really attracts people that need leadership, like people that like to like have someone tell them who they are and what to do, and people that aren't sure who they are. Like it preys on, I mean, that's why the Manosphere and all that shit works, is because it preys on weak-minded men, or men who feel alone or uncertain, or any sort of, they prey on your weaknesses, any sort of spot that they can get in, and then be like, see, the reason why you know like this, we're gonna make you feel better because now you're a part of this or whatever. And so I think that it's kind of fun that it highlights that like this good guy, in air quotes, is so easily following along with like the bad guy. Well, he is bad. I don't know why he's air quotes on bad guy. Blackwood's bad, period. I think that that's really fun and interesting. Now, does it work for Harvey Kinkle? I'm of two minds about this.
Yeah. Can we bracket that real quick, and we'll just close out the depiction on masculinity.
Oh yeah.
And then we can, if so, I'll just lost my train of thought. But yeah, you give it. We'll just finish off that part, and then we can talk about whether it relates to Harvey or not. Because throughout this, they use it as the fear of others because of his fear of Roz being a witch, and that's what drives him in. And I think they do I think it's all a very good depiction of it, and especially when he's like covering her mouth after she says that he's dated two witches. It's like that type of it's like he's self-hating thing for being like interested in it. And so then it's like a taboo thing for him to have been like interested in her and stuff. So it's like, you shut your mouth and you don't say anything about that. And so he's living that like double, it's like that hypocrisy of living the double life.
Does he know he was with two witches? Because did he date Sabrina in this reality?
Yeah, I don't know specifically, but that's like kind of how it's playing it.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me a lot of
No, I agree with this. I was just like, I don't. One of the issues with this
doesn't line up
episode is
one-to-one.
that nothing quite lines up perfectly for us to track what was going on.
Yeah, like it does. It's using that outline of sketching exactly what you're saying. That modern masculinity, right wing masculinity thing. It's why people always love to point out the hypocrisy of them going after the gay community when many of them are closeted, like things like that, where they're doing things that secure them power, but then doing the quote unquote taboo thing on the side, and even though they're crushing that community. It is this exact same dynamic drives the entire plot of One Battle After Another, and it made me think of that a lot. And so in that broad strokes of depiction, it works, and I think Ross Lynch really sells that, like the scariness of it.
Oh yeah, he sells it really well. He is a terrifying white boy.
Yeah, he has a dead look this entire episode.
It's so empty-eyed and soulless, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then I think what is also really fun about this is it also really highlights how obviously he makes the right decision in the end, but I mean, he brings Ross all the way there to be executed. I have a hard time with that. But he, it really highlights how a character like Sabrina could have never ended up with Harvey because he is too weak-willed. And that is just not going to work for her. She has to have someone who's going to be defiant until the end because Harvey will give in and give up.
Yeah, but
and I think that that's really highlighted in this episode. When Nick's like, "Oh yeah, they could have put more stones on me." You're
and when he also defies, she's like, "Always a bad boy."
Yeah, every reality he's being bad. He can't even. He's still himself.
Yes.
And so what's interesting about anything like this when you do here's a new reality, but obviously the people are still in control of themselves. Is it's showing us how they would behave in this type of world with these types of experiences and how much our experiences shape us. And Nick is just so unchangeable, kind of like Sabrina. They are always going to be these very defiant, anchored, well, that's not right. Even also morally, so much more stronger. Because when Zelda's you can't take him, and he's like, it's fine. He's like, no.
Remains defiant. Yeah.
Remains defiant. Remains so self-assured. Whereas Harvey just doesn't have that.
No.
And I think it's a great way to show us as the audience that okay, it's time to give up on any chance of Harvey and Sabrina ever being a thing. Not that I personally have ship sailed, but right. I think it's a fun way to do it. I mean, I don't think that was the point of the episode, but I think it's a nice bonus. I caused an earthquake. I hit the microphone.
You're good.
Anything else you want to talk about on the Harvey of it all?
Did we want to talk about whether this works for Harvey?
Oh yeah, yes. So
sorry because I interrupted you on that part.
No, it's okay. I'm of two minds about it. I think there's a case for both sides. I think there's a case to say this doesn't work. Harvey is such a great person and friend and so supportive and loving and all of these things. But I think there's also a way to defend it on your life experiences shape you and your traumas and everything that's happened to you shapes you. And what happened with his brother, which we don't know what he thinks happened with his brother in this reality. But I think that there's a way to see that it could work with Harvey specifically because of his life experience.
Yeah, my pushback is not that this couldn't happen to Harvey, but that the stakes of the episode, of the story that they're telling within the episode of him having to come to terms with Roz, it doesn't align to what his fears are around Roz being a witch.
Correct.
Because the Roz being a witch, it means that there's one, that she has a completely different part of her life that has nothing to do with him, and that's scary. And also that his previous experience, of the trauma from dating Sabrina, of what the spell she cast on his family, which were very traumatizing, as we've talked about, and also that she hid things from him. So it's are you? Because at first he's like, "You hid this from me, Roz. You didn't tell me. You said you were just a cunning woman." And she's like, "Well, that was retconned."
Yeah, well, I didn't know either, girl.
Yes. So like that's where his mind immediately jumps to, and we don't get that resolution within the episode. It's more just like painted as that broad strokes of like
He needs to accept her for what she is.
Exactly. Of like, here's what could happen to you men if you like go down the rabbit hole of right wing masculinity. And it doesn't quite align. That doesn't make me feel satisfied in how their relationship is moving forward, because he's just like, I want to be on the right side of history. I'm like, but that really wasn't what your stakes are. So that's my bone to pick with it.
No, I agree. I think that it's a really cool and interesting episode, but their relationship could have still, like, it didn't. I think he might have had those feelings afterwards, but it still should have been I realized I was more afraid of like the deception and being excluded, but I guess it is the fear of the other.
It is, but he's not. They play it as that he is worried of like that they are these like monsters or something like that, and he has enough experience with witches to know that's not true. But he's worried about what they could like the parts of their lives he doesn't understand.
Do you think he does kind of still feel a little bit of their monsters?
I that's not my read, but
I wonder if like that's what this episode is telling us.
Yeah, I just don't.
Because like also Roz's brand of witch and Sabrina's brand of witch seem to be different, even though it's not really explained.
I think I mean,
because like Harvey's okay with Sabrina and he's worked with Nick, but like when Marie's at the house, Roz is like, he can't see you here. Like you can't be here. So like he is still uncomfortable around them.
Yes.
And so I think that there's some sort of like, I don't know, like playing with that a little.
But I don't think he's like, I don't think he doesn't completely understand like what they are. You know what I mean? But
I think he's afraid there's more secrets he doesn't know.
Yes.
Like it's if there's, which is not understanding what they are. If there's another thing, like what if they're even worse and I don't know about it? Like the girl he was dating ended up being Satan's child.
Right.
Like he's not, you know, he's like, wow, what else did I not? To be fair, once again, Sabrina didn't know that either.
Right.
But I don't know, because I don't know what their like character sheet and thoughts on Harvey is. But I thought it was interesting. I think it's an interesting way to play with, and also to like highlight the like how easy it is for good guys to be bad guys.
Yeah, I can see it. I can, and I'm thinking about it, and we're talking more. I can see it more that he might still think of them as monsters or something.
Is there anything else in the episode you wanted to dig into?
My last piece, another bone to pick, is Sabrina's arc, because it's related to, again, like what she's going through this season of like figuring out who she is. And I do understand that she's like, I am a protector of people, the underclass. I need to stand up for. They use witches in this sense, but you know, you could paint it as women, you know, anything else that is being oppressed. And so that's where she like finds her power and finds her speech at the end. But my reading at the beginning of this season was there was nothing for her to fight in that moment. So she needs to figure out who she is outside of that. And she doesn't do that here. So I'm curious, but it seems like, and we'll see what the next episode is, if this is still about like Sabrina's growth over the season. But it seemed to me at the end of this episode that it's like, oh, this is kind of resolved because now she's getting back together with Nick. Things are kind of moving in that direction. There's something to flag, but it seemed like.
Well, we don't know what she says to that.
That's true.
She might be like, well, Nick, I need time. I also think that it's like like I don't think they have enough episodes to explore Sabrina being like, who am I as a person? And, you know, what do I want? And, you know, how do I want to approach the world? But I do think that's part of why she's running with Roz. Like, I think that's what they're doing here. It's just that we get kicked out of that reality too fast to get like any good footing in it.
Yeah. Of like finding her purpose of like the everyday thing.
Well, and also they're constantly fighting the Eldritch Terrors. So it's like, can you ever sit down and figure things out if things never stop. And it's like, well, you keep living anyway. So
I think back to thinking of other comic book things. Spider-Man. And what the second movie does.
Which Spider-Man?
The Tobey Maguire.
Okay, I was like, there's
Spider-Man 2.
There's 3 franchises.
Yeah, God. The literal second movie, Spider-Man 2, where he gives up being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And has to figure out his stuff.
Is that when he has the web block?
Yeah, where we can't shoot his webs. Yeah. They do something similar in the comic, but in the comic he doesn't shoot webs out of he has like a machine that shoots webs, like Tom Holland.
Yeah. Well, and
Andrew Garfield does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make their webs.
Yeah, where he like he feels like he has to step away. He's like, I can't do this, and has to reground and find himself in the midst of all this. And they like gesture toward that, but Sabrina is always still involved in things. She never fully steps away. So
I think one of the things that is different about media now and like the way this show, and I feel like a lot of the shows we've done for this podcast are, maybe not Veronica Mars, I'd have to think on that, but since Veronica Mars, is that there's not as much breathing time for that. Like, that's how I would refer to it in like a book. It's like the characters haven't been given a chance to like breathe. You don't get like a normal, like a quick window of time where things are going okay and everyone's having like a moment to debrief or think or pause or whatever. And I think it's because like we want action and things to keep attention, and like it's like you have to go and any sort of internal things just get said out loud because of second screen viewing and all that crap. But I think we really miss something with that. So I agree there that I think we could explore more in the characters and in Sabrina I honestly think if they slowed down.
Yeah.
And we had like an episode to like accept our fate or ourselves or where we are.
Mm-hmm.
I also think part of Sabrina's thing is that she doesn't know how to slow down.
Yeah.
And so she's like, is she going to learn anytime soon? Or is that part of who her core character is? Like, is that something she's not going to develop in?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because also she's 16.
Yeah, going on 17. Yeah, we'll see where it goes next episode, but it's just something to flag. It's like, is this the resolution of that? That it's like, oh, I'm just the hero, but there's not. She doesn't seem to find something within herself, like outside of like, yeah, this is who I am.
Well, I have thoughts on this, but it involves how the show ends, so we'll wait till we get there.
Sounds good. That is it for me then.
All right. Well,
you can find this podcast on all your audio podcast platforms of choice at Dead Ends. You can also find us on YouTube, where you can see the video versions at Dead Ends. At Dead Ends.
You sure?
Dead_ends. I think. I just lost it so much.
You just had like a mental breakdown, I think.
Yep, it is. What are we?
Dead?
At Dead_ends.
Yeah.
Phew. And our podcast art is made by Senki R, and you can find a list of their portfolio and all the episode descriptions. And you can also send us an email with your questions, deadendspcast@gmail.com, or leave us a comment. We like talking to people in the comments.
We do.
But that is it. So we say, not today, Satan, because you weren't on the episode this week.
Not today, Satan. Yeah, also, we didn't even involve hell in this one.
Nope.
I guess she did get kicked out of hell.
Oh, and the other thing that's different, this is the first time, because we don't know what the Trinket Man's up to, but this is the first time that a Eldritch Terror hasn't just like come into the town.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, we love you.
We love you. Bye.